Good evening everyone, and welcome to Nessa's Film Reviews. So tonight I'm going to be reviewing the 1968 film Rosemary's Baby. Now I watched this today and I have seen it before, and it is very satanic and it is really good for the time it was filmed. Really good. So just bear with the fact I've got this fan on at the back as well. So this young couple find this apartment which they really like, and they discover that the old lady lived there before and died, had some very weird things what she did when she was alive. But it didn't deter the couple from deciding to move into this apartment, and so they did. During this time they meet the neighbours, this particularly old lady which Rosemary finds a little bit nosy and all of that, and the husband as well. They invite Rosemary and Guy, her husband, around for dinner. Rosemary said they would go, but she didn't really want to make it a habit. So they sort of went, but didn't really want to. So they went to this dinner. And although Guy wasn't really interested in being there, and they both weren't really, they had this dinner, and apparently the food wasn't that great. After that, Guy decides he wants to go and have more of a chat with the old lady's husband. So he keeps visiting every day or a few days or so. It doesn't really tell you how many days or whatever. And he gets quite chatty with him. In the meantime, the old lady gives Rosemary a gift. And it is a pendant thing, like a dome-shaped pendant thing which you can put things in, and she notices it smells a bit odd, and the woman says, oh, it's got tannis root in it. Now I've looked up tannis root and it's just fictional. It's just a fictional herb, I would imagine, for the film. It doesn't exist. So she says, oh, it's a lucky charm. Rosemary originally says she can't really take it, but they convince her to do so. So Rosemary starts wearing this chain, and everything seems alright. And she mentioned to the old lady that she's wishing to start a family, because the lady saw that she'd got a nursery set up. So during this period of time, the old lady gives them a couple of like chocolate mousses, and Rosemary complains about a horrible chalky undertaste which she wasn't very keen on. And her husband wasn't very pleased with her because he said, you're being ungrateful. So she pretended she liked it, but when he wasn't looking, she got rid of it. During that time, Rosemary started to feel really odd and really funny. And it shows you like she's laying on the bed and images of the sea in front of her, and then she's on a boat and all of this, and she's just feeling really strange. In the morning she woke up and she discovered she had a lot of scratches on her. And her husband said, oh, you passed out, but I proceeded with the baby making anyway. That chocolate mousse was drugged. So during the time when she was out of it, a demon-like creature was having sex with her. And then she woke up the next morning and she had scratches and asked about it, and he passed it off. So yeah, this really weird demon-like creature was having sex with her, and she was completely out of it. So Some weeks later or so, she finds out she's pregnant. She rings the doctor for the test results and he happily says she is pregnant. He wants her to go in to have some blood tests, just regular routine things, and maybe give her some vitamin pills, because back then they'd give you pills and stuff when you're pregnant and they won't think nothing of it. So she was quite happy to go there, and the neighbours convinced her to go to their doctor instead. So she ends up going to their doctor, and he decides the neighbours can give her like a vitamin drink. They don't need pills or anything. And she starts experiencing stomach pain. And she tells him about it, this doctor, and he goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. It'll go away." But she has it for a long time. And during this time, she has some friends around for a little get-together. And she mentions it because she breaks down in tears, because it's been going on for a little while. And they said, "You need to get a second opinion. Go to your regular doctor, don't go to him." And they're just trying to help her, saying this is an indication that something's not right. So she tries to do that, but she's deterred again. Anyway, the pain suddenly disappears. I think this is the time when she started to wear that pendant thing. But it always smells a bit funny. And the tea they're giving her, the vitamin tea, always feels like it's tasting a bit funny. So she progresses on with the pregnancy, and the pain does disappear, like I say. And during this time, lots of strange things happen, and she's starting to discover that the neighbours are witches, and they've got a group of friends as well, you see, and it's a coven. And she tries to tell her husband this, but he goes, "Oh, don't be ridiculous and stop reading that rubbish." And he puts the book she's reading, which was given to her by a friend, high up on the bookshelf. But then when she goes back to read the book again, it is gone, and he tells her he's thrown it away. So she proceeds to go out and she buys a couple of other books, but hides them away from him. But she's reading all this stuff about witchcraft and wanting to take the baby as a sacrifice, etc., etc. So now she's paranoid, and she's really worried that they are wanting to take her baby and use it for that. So she's trying to get away. So eventually she gets together a few bits. She's already got a case ready for when she goes into labour. So she packs the books in the case, she gets some money together, and she leaves. During this time of leaving, because she's going to a phone box to phone a regular doctor and try to get to see him that day. No, actually, before that, she went to see the doctor she'd already been seeing for a little while, what the neighbours had recommended, etc. And during that time, because she'd thrown the pendant down the drain, she just threw it away. And the receptionist said, "Oh, that's a nice smell." She went, "Oh, it was a lucky pendant, but I've thrown it away." And I thought at the time, you wouldn't say that, would you? But anyway, so she went, "Oh, because doctor," I can't remember the name of the doctor, but she says, "Oh, he smells like that." She went, "Oh yeah, it's tannis root." And then when she said that the doctor smelled like that, she got very suspicious then and thought, "I'm leaving." So she made an excuse about seeing her husband quickly, leaves, goes to the call box, phones the regular doctor she sees, finally manages to get called back, goes to see him because she says, "I need to see you today." And when she gets there, she tells him all this stuff about witchcraft and that. He asks if he can keep hold of the books to read, and she says yes. So he's got hold of the books, and he takes her to this other room, and he says, "Just get some rest, you're safe, get some rest," and all that. So she's laying there on this, like, I'm assuming it's a chaise longue or just a normal sofa, I don't know. And she gets some sleep. During this time, this doctor has called her husband. So her husband turns up with his friend, that guy from the apartment, that woman's husband, and takes her away, takes her back. But she manages to escape them when she gets out of the car. She manages to get into the flat, I think it's a flat, get into the apartment, lock the door, lock him out completely. So she manages to keep her husband out for a while. She calls a friend that is out at the time, so she asks to be called back. It's an emergency. Unfortunately, during this time, her husband and his friend get into the property, get into the apartment, get in Rosemary, and then all of the other friends from the coven come round, and one of them's got I think it's the doctor, he's got a syringe with some drug stuff in it, and they inject her and she completely passes out. During that time, they discover she's already in labour, and when Rosemary wakes up, she wants to know where the baby is. They tell Rosemary, "Oh, I'm sorry, but your baby died. There was complications and your baby died." But a couple of days later, they're still giving her these tablets, and at one point after that, she went hysterical and they had to give her an injection again. But during this time, she's having these tablets, what they're giving her. They're not telling her what they are. She doesn't know what they are. And she's hearing a baby cry very close by. So she says to her husband, "Oh, does the couple next door have a baby?" Pardon me. And he says, "No, I don't think so." She says, "I can hear a baby cry." He goes, "No, you're imagining it." So she can still hear this baby cry, and during this time she decides she's not going to take these tablets. So she stops taking the tablets, and one of the coven members keeps getting her to express her milk, and they go, "Oh, we're just throwing it away." She's expressing this milk off and they're saying, "We're just throwing it out." Bit odd, because you wouldn't really do that. So she just about put a spoon into that milk. But, "Oh, no, don't do that." And she went, "Why?" Went, "Oh, because it just don't seem clean." Bit weird, very weird. So that woman goes off and she's getting more suspicious, Rosemary. She's thinking something's not right. During the time she's on her own in the apartment, she goes to the closet and she takes away all the towels she's got in there and takes down all the shelves, because there's a little hole there, and in through that little hole she can see this room. So she takes the shelves down and she takes the towels away and all of that, and she gets into this room. But first she grabs the knife from the kitchen. She gets into this room and she's got this knife in her hand like that. I think it's like, oh, she's just like that. Anyway, that's regardless. She gets into this room and she sees all of these members of the coven all sitting there, and they just look at her and they don't say anything or do anything. You can see the knife at bat an eyelid. And then she sees this black cradle with all like drapes on it and stuff, but it's all black, like netting and lace and stuff, and an upside down cross. And she says, "That's my..." I think she basically knows that's her baby. And they say, no, that's Satan's baby. I went, that's the son of Satan. She went, no, that's my husband's child. I went, no, that is the son of Satan. You've had Satan's baby. It's Satan's son. And during that time, because you could imagine the shock on your face and the actual sheer terror of it. And at the time, he just went, well, you can nurse the baby if you want to, you can take care of it. You don't have to join the coven if you don't want to, but it is Satan's son. Not strange at all. So she's like, I'm not doing that, but I want my baby. And then the baby's crying. So the woman that expressed the milk from her and took it away, etc., is rocking that cradle really vigorously, too much. And Rosemary goes, that's too hard. Don't rock him like that. So eventually they said, no, let Rosemary rock him, let Rosemary rock him. And so she does. And then she starts singing him a lullaby and the film ends. Wow. The film is 2 hours and 16 minutes. I hope I explained it well enough. Wow. What a film. Don't let the fact that it's a film from 1968 deter you. This film is creepy. Very, very creepy. And the deeper in you get into it and the plot, the creepier it just gets. It's got a very eerie feel, and you can't pull your eyes away from the screen. You know, you just want to carry on watching to see what happens. This film is brilliant. I really urge you to watch it. It is really good. Now, I'm not sure at this present moment if it's available on any streaming services or anything like that. But I will find out for you to see if you can watch it anywhere for free, or whether anywhere's showing it, what you'd have to have a subscription for, you know, Netflix or something. I will let you know in the description, I'll tell you. But wow, if you haven't seen this film, I urge you to see it. Now, I have found out they also did Rosemary's Baby miniseries, so I want to really try and get hold of that. But wow, oh wow, that film was so creepy, so creepy. I really enjoyed it though. It was really worth watching, and I'd definitely watch it again. So I'd highly recommend you give it a go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this film review. I will see you again very soon. Take care everyone. Goodbye.